Hello, my name is Jesse, and I run small experiments with context-driven development, AI, and a tool I built called imdone-cli. It keeps your backlog next to your code so you never lose context. Let's see what happens this week. So I've made a decision to normalize all of the commands for imdone-cli so that their use of arguments and options is consistent. I noticed that it was not. So I'm going back to my template that I've been using before in past experiments and setting up a little spec that talks about what I'm going to do, gives the files and constraints, and we're going to see how it works with Claude Code. I've got about 46% of my budget left for my current amount that I put in. So hopefully we'll get through this without a problem. And you can see what I've entered into this spec. This is a Jira task a Jira issue, Jira item, whatever the heck you want to call it, that I'm syncing with imdone. So it's right next to the code and has access to all the files and all of that. So links should be working just fine. Well, I guess that might not be the case, but let's see. Probably if I put a slash in the front of it, it will. There we go. All right. So if you're linking to files, make sure you put a slash in the front for the start of the project. And how I've set this up, actually I set it up using a template so that I can just enter the template name and this little template will appear: example, files, goal, constraints. If you want to do the same thing, you'll need the imdone extension for VS Code, and you'll need to create a template in the imdone folder. Let me clear this up a bit. In imdone templates, you can see there's a few templates in here. This is the template that I use. So if you're in VS Code and you have the imdone VS Code extension installed, you'll be able to access templates that way. Let me go take a look real quick. And yep, imdone code companion. You can see that there's a little example in there. So the $sign will trigger those templates to come up. Anyway, that's a little bit of a side path. Let's get back to the experiment. Okay, so let's see if Claude can make sense of this. First, I'm going to push this update to the Jira item. So I'm just going to run imdone push, get that updated. It did its stashing and popping. Oh, it looks like there's a little bit of a merge conflict. Great, you'll get to see how this works. So if you do get a merge conflict when you're running an imdone push, all you have to do is usually accept the incoming changes or make sense of what's there. I'm going to accept the incoming changes and then run imdone merge. So this is a nice little feature of imdone that allows two people to edit the same Jira at the same time, which Jira doesn't let you do. All right, so that's all set up. These should go away shortly. Showing that it's fixed. I'm going to just make sure and run a git status to make sure there's no changes. Oh, there's a modification. That's okay. Let's update this here. Let's make sure our backlog is committed. I like to keep other files in the backlog folder. It's a separate repo from the main project. So I can take this with me to other projects. So there's the Jira plugin, imdone-cli lives in there. There's imdone desktop, there's imdone core. Well, I can access all these same files in those locations, and I don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to commit this and just say I'm updating documentation. As I was cleaning some things up earlier. I'm going to push that. I'm going to run an I'm done push. You don't have to push your issues. I don't like to push my issues. If you want to push things without pushing issues, you can run imdone-cli. That'll clean up the current sprint folder, and then you can push your backlog. Anyway, you don't have to be in your backlog to run imdone. You could be in any folder. Let's keep going. Okay, here we go. Let's go back to this. Okay. Bring this over here, bring this over here. All right, clear this up a bit. Okay, we're gonna run this through Claude Code. And let's type a prompt here. It should be as simple as execute the task on line 21. So while Claude is doing its thing, we're going to take a look and see what I have sitting in my Claude folder. I haven't yet put any patterns into my .claude folder, but I do have some context for certain things. So for my homepage layout, I've got some things. I've got some mob programming experts, sales experts, solving the shared context problem, article I wrote, and some writing constraints. So it's a good place to keep some things to make sure that Claude has some context when it's doing work for you. So you could see in this template, I did give it this constraint of using TDD. It did find my bin file. That's great. So we should be seeing some TDD. Looks like it's looking for tests. That's great. I want to use a de facto standard for common CLI tools so it's familiar to developers like Git. You know, Git has common de facto standards for arguments and options. And I also want the README and docs updated. And I've given the instruction to apply a patch and show diff, so it's going to show me in VS Code before I accept things. So, yep, it did see that it's using this issue key option, and that doesn't make a lot of sense. If you're going to apply a template to an issue, you know the issue. Why do you have to add the extra issue key stuff? Okay, so we've got this guy. This is what we're looking at here. We've got a test. So this is going to apply a template to an existing issue. Okay, great. It looks like it's mocking the time command. That's great. And should work with an alias. Yep, T as the alias instead of template. And it's giving the type there, the template, bug. Okay, I like that. Should accept issue and template in any order. Position, yeah, should work without issue key. Prompting behavior, yeah. Should work without template option. Prompting behavior again. Okay, those are good tests. Let's go for it. Let's allow just this to happen. And then we'll go over to that bin file. Oh, looks like it ran into an error, but that's okay. Okay, yep, let's go ahead. Let Claude run that command. I'm just going to double check and make sure I have a good branch. Okay, so I am still on main, so I want to check out branch. Let's pull main to make sure we're up to date. Okay, git checkout -b 0.33.0. Got a fresh branch. Okay, the test passed because the desired behavior in isolation. Now let me implement the actual change. Why would the test pass? Okay. The test should fail. Fail before the code is actually written. So I'm going to add use red-green refactor cycle. That's a little bit better. Okay. There we go. This is one of those moments where you're just waiting for Claude to do its thing. And I don't like how it keeps popping it up in the wrong place over here. Not sure why VS Code is causing that problem. Let's let it go ahead and make some changes. I think if it pops it up on the right-hand side again, I'm just going to move my issue over and put Claude on the left. Seems that's where VS Code wants Claude to live right now. It definitely did. Okay, we're going to do that. Okay, here we go. Yes, yes. Yes, comma, but don't say should fail in the description of tests. That's strange. I've never seen anyone do it like that before. I think Claude doesn't quite understand what I'm getting at. Okay, yes. Okay, here we go. Great. It failed. That's what we need. Good job, Claude. Good job. Okay, so now it looks like it's updating. Excellent. Issue key options. Perfect. All right, yes, let's go ahead. All right. Looks like there was an error. Penalty tests are the old behavior tests that are documenting the previous state. Let me remove those since they're no longer needed. Yes, you should. I'm wondering what this is looking like here. I got to move my face out of the way. And then Jira plugin. Let's just run a status here just to see what files have changed. That's interesting. It created its own TDD spec. Okay, so it looks like I'm done template issue key. The option. All right, looks good. Let's go. Let's go with it. Okay. I found that where in public README. Oh, that's going to get copied into public README when I build. So I'm not as worried about that, but I'll go ahead and update it. I think next time I may have to give it just the README file and tell it to update the README file, so it's not looking all over the place for things. But it seems to be working quite well at the moment. The template command now follows the same pattern as the other issue-specific commands. That's great. Let's see if there are any other commands that don't conform. Don't conform to de facto standards. We will see. Let's go ahead and push this issue update. I'm done push. I don't know if you can tell, but we had a pile of snow yesterday. If you look outside, there's a lot of snow out there. And my heat's running, so if there's any noise in the background, I apologize. So it looks like we're getting some analysis. See if there are any changes. Nope, no changes. Seems like VS Code is a little slow today. It's picking this up as a change, even though it's not a change any longer. Git to maintain consistency, keep F for format across all commands, change update command to use force without the -F short flag. Okay. Different letters like pretty online and force operations explicitly use -- force without abbreviation. Would you like me to implement? Yes. So that was helpful. I don't want people to get confused. I think usability is the most important thing. Okay, update command flag consistency. Okay, sure. Let's take that test. -- force. Okay. So no -F option. I like that. Hopefully, Claude will remember to update documentation. All right, once this is done, we're going to build and we're going to test the template command. We do have an alias. Do we have an alias? Let's just double check that and make sure that we have an alias. Source, bin, update. Update, alias u. Okay, so it does have an alias. I'm happy with that. My documentation was not correct. I love it. Thank you, Claude. I'm going to fix that one too. Great. All right. Well, we're 21 minutes in, so not too bad. I guess I could have done that change myself, but it may have taken longer with some troubleshooting. Probably writing all those tests would have been a pain. So we've got some changes here. Let's take a look at what those changes are. Yeah, VS Code seems to be a little bit wonky today. So I'm just going to use the command line. So let's go ahead and go back to CLI package and run a git status. Okay, we've got tests. Let's run build. Make sure everything passes and the code builds as expected. There's one test on here that just takes a while. Now it looks like it's running build, so that's great. Running, okay, everything's building as expected. I'm gonna run npm link so I can run the command and we'll test it out, see if it uses a template. All right, I'm done. Sometimes, let's see what I have in my current sprint. Looks like only one thing is in the current sprint. Let's run imdone-cli just to be sure. Okay. Status, ran into an issue. Tags is getting updated. It's probably because I have imdone running, so I'm imdone desktop running, so I'm going to close that for now. Git add .imdone. We'll add everything. Git commit -m. Update tags. imdone-cli. Okay. Let's see what we have for issues here. Okay, so I can go ahead and use a template on this one because this issue here doesn't have some things that a story might have, right? So what this template says is all the existing markdown is going to go up top, and then this template will be applied to that story. So let's try running imdone-template on Scrum 138. And we'll use the alias. And it should prompt me for a template. Let's try the story. Oh, I picked the wrong issue, but it added it. So that's working. I'm going to undo these changes though, because I don't like them in this story. So it did work the way it was expected. It is now an argument. Excellent. I'm in the backlog, so I'm going to just check status first and then stash to get rid of it. Get rid of that update. Okay, great. All right, well, that was it. I think now what we're going to do is make sure this is checked off. So something I like to do is check off things that have been completed, and then I put them into comments. So I have a running list of all the work I've done in the comment of the Jira. So I'm just going to get rid of this, and we'll create a new heading for the next release, 0.34.0. And we are going to put that into the comment. And we'll push again, and it'll update the comments for us. Excellent. Comment updated. Issue updated. Now let's go take a look. Make sure in Jira everything is looking good. So when I check out my next project, I'll be ready to roll. There it is, tasks. Okay. 0.33 in the comments. Hey, look at that. We're ready to roll. Okay. Thanks, everybody. I hope you enjoyed following along. And next time, let's see what we might want to pick out. imdone desktop notifies user of imdone-cli updates. That could be interesting. imdone-cli can open imdone desktop to view the project. That's interesting. I like the favorites one. So this favorites thing somebody asked for, because when you have a project with a lot of issues, you might want to put them in separate folders based on some category. This came from my team that's using imdone for a large government project, and they have noticed that the list can get quite large when you have 40 people working on a team. So it would make it a lot easier to find the work that they're working on and get them back to work after the weekend, especially after a snowy weekend like this one. So let's push that change, and next time we can work on that together. All right, leave me a comment, hit the like button, let me know if you would like to see someone else working with me, maybe ensembling on something, including Claude as another thing in the ensemble. And thank you very much for following along. We'll see you next time.